In order to create a table of authorities, you must first mark the citations in your document. The Mark Citation function is located under the References tab. Once you are looking at the References tab ribbon, you can highlight your first citation and click Mark Citation. Since this is a statute, we'll want to make sure that we select that option from the category menu. Now, how you categorize citations in this menu is going to determine where they appear in your table of authorities. And if you don't see an appropriate category for what you're referring to in the drop-down menu, you can click Category and then scroll down to the first number you see and then replace it with whatever category you're going to create. When you hit OK, that will then appear in your list of categories. But we're going to stay with statutes since that's what we have here. And once you've chosen your category, you're also going to want to ensure that your citation is correct in this top field here, because how it appears here is how it's going to appear in your table of authorities. Once you're ready, you can click Mark. You'll also see that once you mark a citation, Word adds various symbols to your and text to your document. This hidden formatting automatically appears whenever you mark a citation, and it will help you keep track of which citations you've already marked. So it is helpful. This formatting won't show up if you print your document, and it can be easily hidden again once you've finished marking your citations. But for now, we'll move on to the next citation. You can see there is an option to do that here, right in the window. And this should take us to our first reference to case law. And what this next citation feature does is scan your document for things like section symbols, the V for verses in case citations, id, and years in parentheses, which is supposed to catch books and articles. And while this feature is helpful, I would also recommend scanning your document from start to finish after marking your citations, and while that formatting that you see here is still visible, just to ensure that Word didn't miss anything. Now, back to the citation. Because only the V appears in the selected text field, I'll need to highlight the whole citation and then left click in that field there. And because we still have statutes selected from last time, we're going to change that category back to cases. And then for our short citation field, we're going to take out some of this information here. We're going to leave Marsh and then 463 US. And what this is going to do is allow Word to catch short form citations to this case that it would miss otherwise, because there's no V in short cites to cases. So when we click Mark All, you can see that it's made note of that citation there, as well as our short cite over here on page 2. Now you may also notice, since we're citing Marsh down here as well with id, that Word is not advanced enough to know that your id there is actually citing to Marsh as well. So we'll have to mark that citation and link it to Marsh once we get there. But first we can move on to our next citation, which is Lynch versus Donnelly. So again, it's a case and we just have the V there, so we're going to left click on it here to highlight it, and then left click in the field. And since we have a pin cite here, we're going to want to take that out, because we don't want that to appear in our table of authorities. And then we're going to again, although this is the only reference to this case in this abbreviated excerpt we have here from Town of Greece v. Galloway, we'll do that anyways just for practice. And then we'd hit Mark All. Okay, so there's our Lynch case, and we're going to hit next citation here again, which is going to take us to Adams and Emmerich's A Nation Dedicated to Religious Liberty, which is a book. So again, we just have the year here, so we're going to have to go back and highlight the entire citation, and then left click here, and you do notice that there is this pin cite here that we're going to want to take out. And then once we do that, we're going to want to make sure that we find our category. So in this case, we'll call it Other Authorities. And in terms of the short cite, we only have the one cite to it, but we can just call it Adams. Okay. Now Now, if one of my cases was Adams versus Smith, for example, or if I was citing a second book by Adams, I would have to find a way to differentiate between those two sources just so that the page number references in my table were correct. For now, we'll just mark this citation here and move on to our next one. Okay, there's Marsh again. We already found that one and tagged it. And last we have id. So once we find that, we just have to link it to Marsh, which is here in our list. And once we double click, we're going to see that it comes up in this long citation list here. And if we click Marsh, there we go. We've now linked that to our other decisions. And we have all of our citations marked, so we can close that out. And now that I've marked all my citations, I can go back to the home ribbon here and then hit this Show Hide button, which is going to remove all that hidden formatting from our view, so that it's now back to sort of the default view, the cleaner view. And finally, it's time to insert the table of authorities. So to do that, we'll go back to the References tab and then select Insert Table of Authorities. We're going to be viewing all, hopefully. When we click OK, let's see how it comes up. And there we are, cases, statutes, and then our book citation, which appears there as well. So additionally, because your layout of your document may change, if you do make changes to your document, we're going to just move this down to page 3. So if that happens, you'll just have to update your table. So you click in it, and then go up to the top here under the References tab again, select Update Table, and you can see that accounted for that change in our Marsh v. Chambers citation.